bathroom home can be yours today. This modern design home sits on a lot measuring 3,750 square feet and has a total floor space of 1,700 square feet. It is located in the quiet neighborhood of Belama Phase 3. We're asking $325,000 Belize dollars. To arrange a viewing, contact us today at 613-2066 or email us at forsaleinbelize@gmail.com.
I wear my mask to protect my fellow Belizeans.
I wear my mask to protect the elders.
I wear my mask to protect my baby.
I wear my mask so we can get back to school.
A mask to protect nurses and doctors.
To protect my unborn child.
The people with compromised immune system.
Ni usarish at pagkukretik ak alekpip ut heb hin common.
One Julia, we are very happy. One against.
在大家的安全，我们应该都戴口罩。
मैं अपना मास्क मेरे काम पे और हर जगह जिधर मैं जाती हूँ मैं पहनती हूँ अपने दूसरों और अपने परिवार की रक्षा के लिए.
Porque me cuido y cuido a los demás. También uso la máscara cuando hago ejercicio.
At West Track Belize City, we are looking to help you save both your time and money. We've also improved our stock levels to ensure we have everything you might need for your automotive or agricultural needs. Additionally, West Track has added heavy-duty and industrial parts to keep your trucks and equipment running. At West Track Belize City, we understand that your time is important, so we want to bring our services to you at your convenience. Now you can simply send us a message on WhatsApp or Facebook and we will be right there to help with any questions you may have.
Did you know when you retire, the Sagicor plan pays? When your child needs a college fund, the Sagicor plan pays. When you pass away, the Sagicor plan pays. If you become critically ill or disabled, the Sagicor plan pays. The Sagicor plan always pays.
I had a really good time tonight.
So did I.
Life moves fast. Be prepared with Sagicor. Learn more at sagicorlife.com.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Matters. Our guest this morning is standard bearer for the People's United Party, Belmopan constituency, Mr. Oscar Mira. Mr. Mira, good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you, and morning to Belize, morning to Belmopan. You know, this is capital city. A very nice day today.
Well, excellent. What I want to achieve through this interview is to learn a little bit about you, where you came from, how you grew up, and how you managed to be sitting in the seat that you are sitting today. So first, let me ask, where did you grow up?
Well, first of all, I was born in San Ignacio. My parents come from a village known as Santa Familia. My dad is from El Salvador, but my mom is from Santa Familia. So I was born in San Ignacio, and at about 5 or 6 years old, I remember we came to Belmopan and settled in an area that is now known as Salvapan, out in the suburbs of Belmopan, you know. So that's where I grew up. That's where I can remember I went to school, infant school, junior school, Compre, Belmopan Comprehensive High School. And that is where I actually had that urge in me to do something for my country.
How many siblings did you have or do you have, and where do you place in the lineup?
I am the first of 10.
Wow.
So I come from a big family. So we're always, you know, we're always, whenever we get together, it's always a family affair. It's always a big family.
I can only imagine how it was for you growing up one of 10 children. But I think one of the benefits that might have been is that you are the first, so the other people will get their hand-me-downs. It's just, that's just how the thing was.
But at the same time, being the first one, I had to work hard. I had to help my mom. I had to help my dad, to help take care of the rest of my siblings. It wasn't an easy life growing up in Salvapan. There was no water. There was no light. But one of the things that my mom and my dad always used to instill in me, and instilled in all of our siblings, was that you need to get an education. You need to go to school. From a very early beginnings, my mom would get up early in the morning. I used to do my chores, and the next thing was get ready because we're going to school. If there was one thing that my mom would punish us for, was because we said, you know what, I don't think I want to go to school today because my shoes no good, or because we never used to use uniform at the time, but the clothes I'm wearing is not no. Every day my mom made sure that we used to go to school, and I think that is one of the biggest gifts, one of the biggest effort that my parents could have done, was to send me to school and get an education.
What did your mother do and your father? What was their occupation?
My dad was a farmer. He never had any formal education. My mom was a housewife. So they started from early. My dad would go and plant the corn and plant the rice and do his vegetable gardens. And that is where I used to help. I used to help my chores as well. I had to put in my pound at the end of the day, because I had little brothers and sisters who I had to ensure that they got as well what they needed to go to school as well. Later on, when things were better, my mom got a stall at the market, and then she started selling vegetables. So that's what my mom did for the past 40 years. There's still a vegetable stall at the market, that my mom doesn't go there much, but she does make sure that she goes and buy the vegetables for this stall. So that is what she did, instilling us that hard work, education, that is what is going to bring us forward. This is what is going to give us an opportunity, the opportunity that they did not have when they were growing up. That is the opportunity that we got through education.
If you were to say, out of your parents, which one of them had the greater influence over you?
I think that both my parents were very influential in what we are now. My mom was probably the one that we used to go to, when my dad was angry and when we didn't do something, and he wanted to punish us. My dad was a disciplinarian, but my mom was the one who would advise us and always tell us, what, the reason why your dad wants to lash you is because you did this thing wrong. So we used to find comfort, after my dad would give us a lecture and say, listen, this is why this is happening. We used to go to my mom, who had a softer heart when I was growing up. I believe that she was the softer one of the two of them. But both of them had that influence in our lives that shaped who we are today. My mom did her part, as a mother, as a caregiver to the family. My dad as providing, as best as he can, what we needed. Make sure we have roof over our head, even though it was a thatch house, but it was a big thatch house, and made sure that the food was on the table, making sure that my books were there when I needed them to go to school. I can remember, they used to work very hard to make sure that we got all our books.
When you were growing up, speaking of your books, what did you want to be? What did you dream of becoming?
At that time, I actually I had no guidance, as to what were the different options open to us, unlike my younger siblings who, we the older ones would guide them and say, listen, there are opportunities out there. And in my time, I went to school and I know that I wanted to get an education. I know that education would give me opportunities, but there wasn't this, I still didn't know exactly what is it that I wanted to do. I knew one thing, that I wanted to give back to this country. I wanted to give myself to Belize. So the first thing I did when I graduated was go and join the Belize Defense Force. And I said, you know what, I can give back to my country. My country has been good to my parents. Our country has been good to me. I can give back, and give my life of service to my country. And I did not expect to have a career in the BDF. I thought that I would do the minimum of 3 years, and then come back and decide, what I wanted to do in life. However, I think that after joining the Belize Defense Force and being in the Belize Defense Force, that was something that I really, really wanted to do. And I said, I think this is going to be a career. And it turned out to be a career of over 20 years.
What was one of the biggest joys that you got in that job?
The Belize Defense Force gives us a lot of opportunities. An opportunity to serve our country, an opportunity to lead. I was fortunate, and I still thank God, for giving me that opportunity of attending the Royal Military Academy of Sandhurst. I think it's one of the most prestigious military academies in the world. And you can imagine, coming from Salvapan, I've never been anywhere out of Belize. I hardly used to take the bus to go to Belize City. And here I was, with my little bag, all packed up and heading to the most prestigious military academy in the world. It was something that I had never dreamed of. And when it came to reality, I understood that with great or hard work and with education, there are many opportunities that we had never dreamed about. And I think that was my first time that I flew a plane. And that was the first time that I really realized and said, you know what, Belize is great. The Belize Defense Force is great. This is something that I really want to do. I was, Wali boy from Bakabush. They used to call Salvapan Bakabush. And here I was attending the most prestigious military academy in the world.
That might have done a lot for your parents in terms of they are seeing that the fruits of their labor is paying off. But what did it do for you in that time?
Yeah, so of course, when I went to the airport, I can remember my mom, my sister, and my dad bidding me farewell, and I was standing there thinking, a lot of things came to mind. I was going for 1 year, and I can remember my little sister crying, and saying, oh, you know what, you're going, and I won't see you for a whole year. And I was there feeling, I felt that I had achieved something, that I had made my parents proud. My mom worked so hard, my dad worked so hard, and now through the Belize Defense Force, I was on a journey, a journey that would change my life forever. I mean, those values that are instilled in us at the Royal Military Academy, are things that we carry on for the rest of our lives, So it made me feel very, very happy to know that my mom's and my dad's work were not in vain. That, and not only about them, but it was more about my country. It was more about giving myself service to my country, and also believing that, you know what, one of these days I will have kids, I will have grandkids, and they will also benefit, from this country, a country where I knew from the time I joined that there was an issue at the border, that there was a claim from Guatemala. but I was willing to put myself, and I was willing to put my work, and I was willing to put my life on the line to ensure that those that were asleep while I was guarding the border, could do so and feel that they are safe. Territorial integrity and making sure that that Belize is what we had when we gained our independence. The ensuring that the words of the father of our nation, who said not a single centimeter would be ceded. I was there, and I patrolled proudly. I tell you that those that patrol the border along with me know that whenever they went with Mr. Mira on patrol, we were going to patrol. I did my job. I took it very seriously. But those are the things, that were instilled in me from the time I left on the 2nd of January, I can remember, 1993 to Sandhurst.
When you came back, your life was changed. What was the biggest change that you immediately experienced upon returning?
Indeed, when I left for Sandhurst, I left as an officer cadet. I had almost no responsibility at work. But when I came back, I was a second lieutenant. And that meant that I was now in charge of 25 other soldiers. They depended on me. And I remember my first patrol, and that was on the 15th of December, 1993. And I remember that first patrol because it was in the Columbia Forest Reserve. And if you can recall the Columbia Forest Reserve, that's where Machakila OP is, So I was sent there, with 7 other guys. And now they were under my command. I had to look after them, and the decisions that I make and the decisions that I made at that time, would influence these soldiers. And the biggest fear would be for me, every time I went on a patrol was that one of us would not come back alive, and what would I say now to the family of that soldier who had given his life out there, and that was always in the back of my mind. So whenever I made a decision, whenever I made the plan, the route of my patrol, I would always have that in mind, and I'm very, very thankful, and thanks to God, that I did hundreds of patrols, and we were all blessed, and we were all safe. And whenever we went out, we all came back safe. So it was changing, a young second lieutenant. I was 20 years old at the time, in charge of 25 men. And, the decisions that I make influence on all of these men. So it wasn't like before, where you are not in charge. You are in charge now, and you are in charge of these guys.
When you are out there, you are there to teach them, but also you learn from them. What was one of the biggest lessons that you learned during that time?
My first patrol, I remember I had a corporal with me, and he was a senior corporal, so he had done many patrols before. And he sat with me, and I said to him, "Corporal, if there is anything that I need to learn now, please tell me. What is it?" And he said, "You know what? Never lie where your position is." And I'm like, what do you mean? He said, "Ensure that when you call to headquarters and you say that you're at this position, that you really are." So I'll give you a story. You know why? Because one time I was on patrol, and one of my superiors said, "You know what, we're not going to walk so far. We'll just say that we are there, and then we will just hang out in the bush, and then after 3 days we go back." And that day they said, headquarters call him, "So you really at this location?" I said, "Yes, this is my location." I said, "Okay, well, you're being resupplied with more food. The helicopter is going to land, and they're going to take your food. It's on its way, and you can stay another 7 days." And of course they were not there, so they had to double up and walk day and night to reach to that location. And when they got there, the helicopter was already gone. So it is one of those things that I learned very early in my career. When you're out there patrolling, if you say that you are in Rio Blanco, just, yeah, if you're there, then say you're there. You know, don't be putting locations that you're not, you know. So I learned very quickly that when you're out there in the jungle, you know, you need to make sure that your location is where you say you are. So I learned that very, very, very quick. And it never happened to me.
Well, it's interesting. I think one of the other lessons you can learn from that is that you must always be honest. Because
yes, indeed.
This real life is the jungle. I mean, for you, that was the physical jungle, but out here is the real life. What we're going to do, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will learn a little bit about life after the military. Limited is the company of choice when it comes to design, fabricating, and erection of wide-span metal buildings in Belize. At New Buildings, we have a team of well-trained professionals that can produce the most innovative and durable metal structures. Be it domestic or industrial buildings, we can get it done for you. We have put together some of the most outstanding metal structures in the country. We also do estimates and consulting. Visit New Buildings in Spanish Lookout or give them a call at 631-8723 or 610-5185. New Buildings Limited, the experts when it comes to metal structures in Belize.
I chose Galen because of its strong reputation. Great scholarships.
I came because I can take all my classes online.
Because Galen University opens doors to the outside world.
Their course offering in tourism.
It gives you more opportunity to become who I want to be.
If you want to connect with your inner champion to make the world a better place, then Galen is right for you.
Me and my Marie Sharp in Brooklyn, New York.
Me and my Marie Sharps in Lake.
Me and my Marie Sharp in St. John's, Canada.
Me and my Marie Sharp, Weda, Guyana.
Me and my Marie Sharp in Chicago.
Me and my Marie Sharp in Hertfordshire, England.
Me and my Marie Sharps in Taipei, Taiwan.
Marie Sharp, world-class products produced in Belize.
Here at Coop Sheet Metal, we believe our job is very essential in serving our customers. And that is just one reason why visiting us is an experience to be remembered.
Here at Coop Sheet Metal, we have a reliable fleet of trucks. We specialize in countrywide delivery of all our material.
Coop
Coop Sheet Metal is a family business that was started by my grandfather, who even had many of his machines hand-built decades ago to make our products the most reliable in Belize. Come, visit us at our new facility on Iguana Creek Road, just past the Belize River leading to Spanish Lookout.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because of its perfect portion sizes, and I can travel with it.
Because it's nice and soft and creamy, and it goes smooth on your bread.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because I eat it with my beans. I eat it with my fried jack. And you know why? Because it's nice.
Most of all, when you're on the plane, you know they only give you some crackers, and you could just take one out and enjoy it with Happy Cow cheese.
I'm Miss Baker, and I choose Happy Cow cheese because it goes well with all the stuff I bake.
Happy Cow cheese. Look for it in a store near you. Distributed in Belize exclusively by Emilio Ahmad and Sons Limited. P-Tech has been in Belize now for more than 6 years. We specialize in residential and industrial high-quality glass windows and doors.
I chose P-Tech windows because they're the highest quality I can get.
I chose P-Tech windows because I'm quite impressed about the way they're manufactured. These are double pane glasses. They're called low E. That keeps out a lot of the heat.
Check us out at p-tek.com or give us a call at 671-3842. Welcome back to Morning Matters. Oscar Mira in with us this morning. Mr. Mira, good morning and welcome back.
Thank you very much. Morning again.
In the first segment, we spoke a little bit about your early life, including your entry, if you will, into the military, because those were the initial days. But then you stayed there for 20 years and then you left. What did you do immediately after leaving?
I had several appointments outside of the military. So while I was still in the military, I continued with my civilian education. I got the opportunity of studying my military courses abroad in many different countries. But I also knew that if I wanted to do something after the military, I had to do, I had to get my civilian education. So I enrolled at the University of the West Indies, and I got my master's degree in national security and strategic studies from the University of the West Indies in Jamaica. That gave me an opportunity to be sent to Guatemala as the military attaché. So apart from being in the military, I also got to do some military diplomacy for Belize, representing Belize and Guatemala, and I did that for 2 years. So it gave me the opportunity to work with our regional partners. It gave me the opportunity to work with our counterparts in Guatemala. And it gave me experience. I also used to be the person who Belize would send to represent for those security meetings with SICA. And it opened up my eyes to many of the issues affecting our region. Coming back from the military attaché position in Guatemala, I got the opportunity to work at the ministry at a civilian post, but still being in the military. So I was the Deputy National Security Coordinator for Belize for 2 years. And that was the time, I guess, that I got very interested in what I would do after the military. So the opportunity arose, and I became interested in politics. I said, I have given up over 20 years of my life to service to our country. I think I can give more in another capacity. Probably in the military, I could not make any changes. I could probably influence some of the policies, but I could not make the policies or make the changes needed that I felt was needed for the country's national security. So the opportunity arose, and I retired early. I retired very early, and the opportunity was there, and I took it up. And my first try at being the standard bearer for Belmopan was not successful. I had no idea of how this political world worked. So I must say that the first time I ran for the convention, I lost, and that was an experience that I learned from. because I knew then that, you know what, I think this is something that I want to do. This is something that I can give back to my country in another capacity.
You lost, but then you rose up and tried again. Why?
Because I thought that the opportunity was still there. In Belmopan, the opportunity of representing Belmopan was still there, and I believe that I had learned from the mistakes that I did the first time. While we know that our political is local, at that time, I did everything on my own. I thought that I could do everything on my own, honestly doing everything from my heart. You know, I had the support of my younger brother who was there, or who is there from the beginning, Brian, and we learned from the mistakes that we did the first time, and said, you know what, if there is another opportunity, and I would pursue this other opportunity, I know that we will be successful because we have learned, and we now have the experience that we didn't have at the beginning when we started. We came in very late, and actually the political the political experience was not there. I learned very quickly, you know, and the second time around we were successful, and I think that the second time we worked hard to achieve what we wanted to achieve. I gave my all. What we did it from our hearts. What we did it with the best intentions, and what we did it with the people in mind. It was always about the people, and this is something that I still continue to work on, you know, that whenever we make decisions, that the decisions should benefit the majority of the people.
You were an independent. I would imagine that you were an independent before you decided to, when you were in the military, you were just an independent soldier. You're a man for the country. You could have joined any team, including independent. Why did you choose the team that you did?
I believe that I chose the People's United Party because I truly believe on the fundamental beliefs of the party: social justice, about the people, and the history of the party coming from a time before our independence, when George Christ was fighting for our independence. When the party itself was grounded on the notion that we needed to work together, and that is where the time when you know, the country was going through some very hard times, and getting together and joining together, I think is what brought me to the realization that, you know, if I was to join a party, I think I would join the party where the fundamentals of that party is something that I truly can believe in. You know, so social justice, you know, about the people, you know, that all the decisions that we make and all the policies that we make should positively affect the people, and that the standard of their lives are enhanced, and that is something that I truly believe in.
How long have you been directly involved in politics? And how has politics changed over that time?
Directly involved would have been from 2013 when I, so that's about probably 7 years, when I left the BDF. You know, I retired from the BDF because I wanted to get more involved. That was the main reason why I left. And since then, I have seen that many things have happened. When I used to come, because I voted, you know, every year there was an election, I would come very early as a family. We would go, we would vote. I would normally be in uniform because I would be working that day, and I leave for work. And when I got more involved in what is politics in Belize, I noticed that sometimes it's not about the candidate, and it's not about who you really are and what you have, the plans that you have for your constituency. But sometimes it's about what you can get done, and this is very sad for some of the voters in our country who are looking for some kind of immediate benefit. And I see it all the time, and I live it all the time. Mr. Mira, if I can get a lot, I will vote for you. Mr. Mira, if you can help me with my school fees, I will vote for you. Mr. Mira, I have 6 votes in my house. We will vote for the ones that help us. You know, it is not even about the plans. It's not even about the future of our country, of our constituency, but it's what you can gain directly, you know, on a short-term basis. It's something that dependency, I think, that has been that has grown in Belize. I think we need to change that. It has to be that we can do something for our constituents that would benefit them in the longer run.
I think the education is lacking. I think the voters need to be more educated. And just on the concept of the value of what their vote represents. And their vote is not for a house lot or $50 or a car or any of those things. Their vote should be for the betterment of this country, regardless of who they vote for. People would say, or one may say, this is the worst time to be a politician. If there ever was a bad time, this is the worst time. Why did Oscar Mira feel that this is a time for him to put his name on the ballot? We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we'll be coming back with your response to that.
Limited is the company of choice when it comes to design, fabricating, and erection of wide-span metal buildings in Belize. At New Buildings, we have a team of well-trained professionals that can produce the most innovative and durable metal structures. Be it domestic or industrial buildings, we can get it done for you. We have put together some of the most outstanding metal structures in the country. We also do estimates and consulting. Visit New Buildings in Spanish Lookout or give them a call at 631-8723 or 610-5185. New Buildings Limited, the experts when it comes to metal structures in Belize.
I chose Galen because of its strong reputation. Great scholarships.
I came because I can take all my classes online.
Because Galen University opens doors to the outside world.
Their course offering in tourism.
It gives me more opportunity to become who I want to be.
If you want to connect with your inner champion to make the world a better place, then Galen is right for you.
Me and my Marie Sharp in Brooklyn, New York.
Me and my Marie Sharps in Lake.
Me and my Marie Sharp in St. John's, Canada.
Me and my Marie Sharp, Mira, Guyana.
Me and my Marie Sharp in Chicago.
Me and my Marie Sharp did a Hertfordshire, England.
Me and my Marie Sharps in Taipei, Taiwan.
Marie Sharp, world-class products produced in Belize.
Here at Coop Sheet Metal, we believe our job is very essential in serving our customers. And that is just one reason why visiting us is an experience to be remembered.
Here at Coop Sheet Metal, we have a reliable fleet of trucks. We specialize in countrywide delivery of all our material.
Coop Sheet Metal is a family business that was started by my grandfather, who even had many of his machines hand-built decades ago to make our products the most reliable in Belize. Come visit us at our new facility on Iguana Creek Road, just past the Belize River leading to Spanish Lookout.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because of its perfect portion sizes, and I can travel with it.
Because it's nice and soft and creamy, and it goes smooth on your bread.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because I eat it with my beans. I eat it with my fried jack. And you know why? Because it's nice.
Most of all, when you're on plane, you know they only give you some crackers and you could just take one out and enjoy it with Happy Cow cheese.
I'm Miss Baker, and I choose Happy Cow cheese because it goes well with all the stuff I bake.
Happy Cow cheese. Look for it in a store near you. Distributed in Belize exclusively by Emilio Ahmad and Sons Limited. P-Tech has been in Belize now for more than 6 years. We specialize in residential and industrial high-quality glass windows and doors.
I chose P-Tech windows because they're the highest quality I can get.
I chose P-Tech windows because I'm quite impressed about the way they're manufactured. These are double pane glasses. They're called low E. That keeps out a lot of the heat.
Check us out at p-tek.com or give us a call at 671-3842. Hey girl, how you doing? With all that's going on, I needed something to add some color to my day, and Sawyer Paints did it for me. With their wide variety and low prices, I've been able to beautify my space both inside and out. Oh wow, do you know if they have paints for metal? They have paints for everything. They can also mix any color you want. You can visit them at number 12 Douglas Jones Street in Belize City, or if you wish, you can WhatsApp them at 673-3400 to place your order. They can arrange delivery for you wherever you are in the country. Sawyer Paints, exceptional quality at an affordable price.
Welcome back to the third and final segment of Morning Matters. Mr. Oscar Mira in with us. Before we went to the break, I asked, why now?
I believe that this is the time that the country needs us. If there was ever a time when the country needed someone with the experience, someone with the compassion, someone with the leadership skills that I bring from the military, it is now. It is not an easy task. It has been difficult. This is a time when everybody needs something. Everybody needs help. But as you said, if we can educate our electorate, letting them know that your vote values, it's very valuable. And it starts from registration. There were many young people who said to me, Mr. Mira, me no want to register because I know into politics. I no want nothing to do with politics. So I even going to register. It takes a lot to educate and to let them know that registering to vote is not about politics, but it's about making a choice. If you don't register, you have no choice to make on election day. If you register, you have a choice. And I said, you don't even have to vote for me, but you have a choice of voting for someone that you believe is the best representative for your constituency. And also, it's also a difficult time, the pandemic and people losing their jobs and people not having the what they used to have before. They used to have a salary, a fixed salary. Now people are struggling. and everyone need help. You know, the school was about to open once, you know, and the economy is not in its best. So for a politician at this point in time, it's difficult. You know, we need to have the wherewithal, you know, to solve issues that are sometimes social issues. For me, it has been difficult. You know, the financial burden that many families are going through is not easy. And I come from a very humble family, and I know how it is to go to school hungry. I know how it is to not having what we want. I know how it is to struggle financially as a family, you know, of 10. My mom and my dad, they struggled. So I can empathize with them, you know, but we must give them some sort of hope, you know, that, you know what, things can be better, things will be better. And that is my message to the residents of Belmont, that there is hope. There is a time where things will get better, when things will change. Oscar Mira, as your representative, will ensure that I fight for those rights that you have.
Oscar, with the most respect, and I say this to every politician that I've been interviewing, every time a politician, regardless of who they are, again, they sit in front of me or in front of the electorate, they always say, it's like a guy courting a girl. They give them the best story. And then, regardless, again, who they are, when they get into the relationship, we see the true them. And a good percentage of the time, what they say they were going to do, they never gave. And this is blue, black, yellow, everybody. They always disappoint. They always under-deliver as opposed to over-deliver. What is to say that Oscar will be the exception?
You know, I think I have one of the best advisors in Belize, and that's my dad. He didn't go to school. He don't have a degree in political science, but he's very smart. And when I got interested and I got involved in politics, he was the first one to sit me down and said, Oscar, I am no political guru, but let me tell you something, and let me advise you. You will have to work very, very hard if you want to win your first election. It's not going to be easy. But I'm confident that you have what it takes to win in Belmopan. When you win in Belmopan, do not forget the people that supported you. Do not forget the residents of this city, and ensure that you continue visiting them and listening to their concerns the same way you're doing it right now. And that, I believe, is something that I will continue doing, because, he said, the second time, it will be far easier if you continue working, continue campaigning, continue listening to their concerns, continue making policies that positively affect their lives. That is the way that the second time around, it won't be as hard. So, you know, whenever we sit down, and whenever my dad comes from the farm, as he go to a farm every day, whenever he comes down and he has only 5-10 minutes and I'm by my mom, I would always sit with him, and he would give me these great advice. You know, he said, listen, this is the learning process. You know, do not forget what you said when you were on the campaign trail. Whatever you do, make sure that you try your best to deliver something that these electorate will remember on election day and say, you know what, Mr. Mira, I need to have a come visit me at my house again, because you know what, the work that you have been doing from day one works for itself and speaks for itself.
But what separates you from the rest?
You know, I think that at heart, while I'm a politician, maybe now by my job, I think that deep down inside, in my heart, I am someone who really, really wants to do well for my country, for my city. I gave up over 20 years of my life and perhaps the younger and stronger years of my life to this country, and I will continue to do so. Those things that I learned that were instilled in us, those values that were instilled in us at Sandhurst, you know, my first leadership course that I did, those things are still with me. Deep down in my heart, I know that what I do, I am doing it for my country. I'm doing it for my city, Belmopan. I'm doing it for those residents who did not or who don't have that opportunity that I had. I work hard for that opportunity, but I had that opportunity. And that is what I want to impart, and that is what I want to share with those in Belmopan. The less fortunate, those that they would not have been able to get an education. It's not because of politics, but even before I started politics, I started giving two scholarships to children in St. Martin Primary School. That is the primary school in Salvapan. So I started even before, you know, I even got anything of politics in my mind. I said, you know, I can give back to Salvapan. This is where I grew up. This is what gave me opportunities. And I started with my little scholarship program as a family. And I'm proud to see that now it has grown to over 12 children that we help to go to high school, that I pay for their school fees, and I pay their books, and I buy and try to mentor them as best as I can. And not only for high school, but we also started helping those children in primary school of getting an education. So for us, Mira, it's not only about politics, but it's about giving back to this country that we all love, and about giving back to Belmopan, because this is where I grew up, and this is where I call home. 20 years of service in the BDF taught me a lot.
What is your vision? We hear all the good stuff, but I think a lot of times the people need to be reminded what the vision and the plan is for them in the event you gain that seat that you are looking for.
For Belmopan, I think that I want a safe and secure Belmopan, where our children have the opportunity to go to school, where our children have the opportunity to excel, where our children have the opportunity to be whoever they want to be, where our population and our citizens have a healthcare system that looks after them, that gives them, you know, when they're sick, that they give them the medication that they need, that they don't have to be spending, you know, all their savings because someone got sick. Also, I want to see Belmopan where we grow. You know, we are the fastest growing urban center right now in Belize, but we need to grow with a plan. We need to grow ensuring that it is not just haphazard. But I also want to see a Belmopan where instead of us going to a young 18-year-old and saying, have you registered yet? It's time to register because we want their vote. That will look at these young people and say, listen, have you ever owned a piece of land? You're an adult now. Are you in a position, you need to ensure that our young people have that opportunity of owning a land, of having a decent house, you know, and these are the things that we want to change. We're not giving anything for free because our people just want to work. There are a lot of people who said, listen, I just need an opportunity. If I get the opportunity, I will work for it. So we want to ensure that we have that environment where jobs are available, where investors would come to Belize and say, you know what, if I want to invest my money, let me go to Belmopan. where our city is business friendly. You know, where our city, when people want to do a small business and start up something small, that there is support for them. You know, not obstacles. This is what we see sometimes, you know, that it is so hard to open just a small business that people just get frustrated. And we want to change that.
You have all of these wishes. What would be your first course of action to achieve at least one of these goals for your constituency?
Yeah, for Belmopan, we know that what we need to do, and we have a plan already. We have a 5-point plan of the things that we believe that Belmopan needs. And one of the biggest issues or pressing issues in Belmopan, if you notice, Belmopan is divided into four areas. So what issues affect the central of Belmopan sometimes doesn't necessarily affect the outskirts of Belmopan. But one of the things that affects the whole of Belmopan is security. And this we found out by going house to houses. We found out by doing our surveys that, you know what, in Belmopan, a lot of or the majority of our citizens are worried about our personal security and the high cost of living. There needs to be in Belmopan policies need to change to ensure that the high cost of living is brought to manageable levels. We also need to ensure that the services given to our city is growing the way our city is growing. So the police department perhaps need to look at the security situation in Belmopan and come up with a plan of how we are going to provide the services to Belmopan. Residents in Belmopan, many years ago, we never used to care about leaving our doors open. We used to leave our door open and holler to the neighbor, listen, I'm going to Belize City, look after my house for me. And we're gone. That doesn't happen anymore. And we understand, you know, that with growth and we understand that with development comes challenges. But we also need to understand that those services that we provide have to grow with the growth of our city. So providing you know, guidance and making policies that will ensure that our people are able to provide for themselves, and that means that they need jobs. You know, how do we get those jobs into Belmopan? By attracting investments. And it has to be that those investors, those people that have the money to invest, would look at Belize and say, listen, if I want to invest my money, I should go to Belmopan. That is where, you know, I will get the return that I deserve, and this is where my money is going to go. So we can get jobs for those people that at this point in time are going through a hard time.
Mr. Mira, I say thank you for stopping and sharing with us this morning. Any final words?
Thank you very much. And to those residents of Belmopan, I want to say that I am giving my all. You know, perhaps I have not been to your homes as yet, but I'm doing the best with all the restrictions that we had during COVID, you know, and the advisors telling us, you know, oh, you shouldn't go from house to house and, you know, this and that. But we are doing our best. And if we cannot get to you at your house, we're going to make the calls. We're going to use social media. We're going to use all the means available within, you know, the restrictions that we have to ensure that our message is sent. The message will go directly to our voters, you know, that there is hope, that there is something that we can do different, and there's something that I will do different for the betterment of our people, for the betterment of Belmopan. And we are continuing to work hard. If there is anything, you know, you can follow us on Facebook. You can send us messages on our official Facebook page. We will ensure that we answer and that we get back to you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask us. You know, we are here to serve. As I have served my country in the BDF for over 20 years, I'm here to serve Belmopan now, and I'm going to do it with the best of my ability and with all my heart for the betterment of the people and residents of Belmopan.
Again, Mr. Mira, I say thank you for taking the time to share with us this morning. All the best, And I hope to speak to you in the near future again.
Thank you very much for having me this morning. I really, really do appreciate it. And thanks.
Anytime.